Hey, you guys, it's Peter, and I'm back. Of course I'm back. I'm not going anywhere. Boost! 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 Dueling fans. I'm YouTube famous now. Oh, I forgot to do this part. Peekaboo! I see you because I'm YouTube famous now. Available in 2021, the album. Testing, testing. I need 2 microphones. Dad. AF. Rock on gold dust. A tambourine. I don't have one today. It's over there. Woman beast. You know what song has been stuck in my head for a week? I will tell you, okay? A little hint. Ann and Nancy Wilson. Yes, Heart. No, it's not Barracuda. These dreams go on when it's cold outside. I don't know why, but that song, I sometimes sing it in my vlog, and that song has been stuck. There's my glasses. That song has been stuck in my head for like the last week. So anyway, how are you guys doing? It's so weird to be back in this chair after having been gone for a week. And no, my foot will not fall asleep this time because I won't be sitting on the floor. But anyway, let's get into today's drama. All the drama that there is to have. And I have to tell you, okay, this video is going to be a little bit different. There's like a hair flip in there. There's another, it must be from my fan. This video is going to be a little, now it's right in front of me. This video, there it goes. God, that one hair won't go away. My God, leave me alone, leave me alone. Anyway, this video is going to be a little bit different than the usual videos I do. I usually like look at all of the receipts. Whitney, whatever you want. Anyway, I usually look at all of like, you know, the receipts and the things that people have said, and then I kind of put them together and I kind of think about them. And I know that this channel doesn't seem cohesive, and you guys are like, I know, but Peter, you have 11 to 14 minute intros, and I do, and I love it, and thank you for watching them. For those of you that do, for those of you that fast forward through it, I totally understand. Okay, but anyway, I usually sit down and I kind of like go through like all the receipts, and then I'm like, okay, well, what do I think about this, and blah, blah, blah. And then I kind of get into like a blah, 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 blah. When you know the notes to sing, you can sing most anything. You ever watch Sound of Music? Love that music, or that movie so much. Anyway, last night on the plane on the way home, I started watching The Summer of '84. It is such a good horror movie. You should go check it out. But I'm also watching, and I watched the second episode of RuPaul's Drag Race UK. So I'm watching that as well. And let's see, anything else that I wanted to say about that? Oh, when I was on my trip, I watched that horrible Barb and Star Go to Vista Del Mar. That was one of the stupidest movies I've ever seen in my entire life, but I digress. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, I always kind of put my videos together a little bit. So in my head, I sit down and then I just kind of like, you know, I don't need a lot of editing. I don't need to hire a fancy editor like Shane Dawson to do my editing because I just sit down and I begin it and then I just cut off the beginning and the ends. It's real simple, okay? When people are like, what editing software do you use? I'm like, what? They're like, but what editing software do you use? I'm like, who? I'm like, editing software? I don't know her. So anyway, I don't know her. So I usually do that, but today I'm not going to do that. I am going to actually just go right in and read to you how it happened to me as a drama commentary channel named Peter Monn. Okay, so I was over on the Twitter, and I noticed on Twitter, this was a day ago, that Def Noodles, hey Dennis, how are you? He posted this video clip of Ryland Adams from a vlog that Ryland Adams did, and the vlog was titled, now this is on Ryland Adams' second vlog channel, not his first one. His first vlog channel is just called Ryland Adams. Now he just posted a video over there, it has 500,000 views on it. That channel is a vlog. He won Vlogger of the Year for that. People thought I was joking when I said that. No, he really did win Vlogger of the Year. And people are like, well, then did somebody buy it for him? Because a lot of people are speculating that those award shows, people buy them and whatever. I don't know, but I will tell you what's interesting about this is at that time previous to that, Shane Dawson had always come out and been kind of like, if you remember back in the day, Shane Dawson didn't really have great things to say about award shows and about VidCon. And so then Shane Dawson won some award, and then Ryland won for Vlogger of the Year when he was dressing up as Kylie Jenner and all that kind of stuff. I didn't get it, okay? I mean, I watch a lot of vloggers, and I really didn't understand why Ryland Adams won Vlogger of the Year other than, and I think I said it in a video at the time, other than the fact that he was dating the golden child of YouTube at that year. So I don't know if Ryland Adams will win Vlogger of the Year this year. I don't think he probably will. And if he does, I'm not sure which channel he'll win on. His first vlog channel or his second vlog channel. But needless to say, on his second vlog channel, he put up a video, and the video is called Office Makeover and Morning Routine. And it's basically just a vlog where he's talking about wallpaper that he wants to put up in this wall and blah, 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 and all this kind of stuff. And he's going in there and he's talking about how he couldn't find, it was $2,000 a roll or something like that, so he was trying to find something that was cheaper on Etsy. He goes in there and blah, blah, blah. Now, I will say this, okay? I do not find Ryland Adams entertaining. I've said that before, I'll say it again. His personality is just not entertaining to me. He's not somebody that I would sit there and watch. But if I were to watch any of his videos, this would be the kind of video that I would watch, personally. Just my interest in life. I think that his decorating the bedroom, I think he did a fantastic job. I think it was beautiful. And I think for me to be fair in covering all of these people, I have to give credit where credit's due. I think that is something that, like, for Ryland Adams is not funny. He thinks he is. He thinks he's a comedian. Ryland Adams is not funny, okay? Ryland Adams, to do a video channel like this, where he's doing makeovers and things like that, which kind of seems like his thing, I actually think he would do very, very well with something like that. He's also not just a natural host of a podcast, although everybody in the world has a podcast, and hey, I might even start a podcast, who knows? But I think him doing vlogs like this, I think people could get interested in that. So anyway, in the video, he goes into this thing and he talks about when all you're receiving is hate online. He's talking about himself. He's like, when all I'm receiving is hate online on all of my platforms, which is interesting because where's that hate going, Ryland? Because it's not in the comment sections of your videos at all. And I actually just looked in the comment section of this video, and it was interesting because somebody said on here something to the effect of, like, where are all the negative comments? Like, Ryland's talking about how on all of his platforms, all he receives is negative comments. But if you go to those platforms, you can't find negative comments, which means he is highly, highly editing any negative comment that comes through there, any kind of criticism whatsoever. And I want to say this, okay? There is a true difference between somebody coming and being vicious and attacking cruelly, okay, and somebody asking a question or saying something or it being kind of a little funny. There's a difference to me about that, all right? And if he wants to go in there and he wants to edit out the comments that people are like, you should do this to yourself or you should do that or blah, 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 whatever, like, I understand that, okay? But when you go underneath the comments and you can't find not one negative comment underneath there, it's like, this is a little speculative to me, okay? So anyway, so someone underneath there also said, does Shane effing do anything? And someone said no, because he gets attacked for being in the background of Ryland's videos, like they aren't engaged in anything. And I've said in videos of mine, you know, he should just put Shane in the videos. I mean, it's Ryland's channel if he wants to. And if he did that, he would actually get a lot of attention for it. So, all right, so that was the video that they did, he did, called Office Makeover and Morning Routine. And that was the one that I think Shane shouted out and said that he was really proud of the editing that he had done on that. The editing is just meh. I mean, it is. I don't understand why, like, of all the series that you've done, like, this is the video that you're super proud of. Like, you watch it, and it's literally just like somebody filming Ryland putting together an office. So it's like Ryland said to Shane, okay, come in here, I'm going to do this. Now, film me looking on the computer through Etsy. Now, film me doing this. Okay, now splice all those pieces together. It's basically that. And hey, that's great. But like I said on my previous videos, there are channels out there that are doing, I mean, unbelievably high quality editing, that if we're going to talk about the value or the artistic, you know, creativity of editing, this vlog ain't it. I mean, it just isn't, okay? Now, I think that we should be proud of any of our endeavors. So, you know, applause to Shane for that. But in retrospect of looking at all of his series that he's done, which I do think in some of those series he did some really great editing, or was that Andrew? I don't know. So anyway, so that he goes into this whole thing. That's really not the drama of what's going on. So Duck Noodles comes out and he says, who could have seen this coming? Ryland Adams opens up about how dealing with hate online. He says, when, quote unquote, when all of my platforms seem to be hatred towards me, it is hard to get inspired to create. And if I start looking at any of that, why would I want to create? And somebody said underneath here, I almost genuinely felt sorry for a moment, but then I suddenly remembered how they treated Trisha and gaslighted their audience and still chose to indulge in Jeffree Star, okay? When Jeffree Star just came out and said that Shane Dawson is his best friend. He called him his best friend, even though Ryland Adams had said that he had distanced himself, or that Shane told Trisha that they were distancing themselves from Jeffree Star, and Ryland Adams just referred to Jeffree Star as acquaintances. But then when the SIP came out with merchandise, they had chosen to go with killer merch, which was another interesting observation that a lot of people made, and on and on and on. So there's a lot of connections between Jeffree Star and Shane and Ryland, which people are saying. Okay, so then if you go over here, Trisha has retweeted this person's response. It says, I almost genuinely felt sorry for a moment, but then I suddenly remembered how they treated Trisha and gaslighted their audience and still chose to indulge in Jeffree Star. She retweeted it and she said, him and Shane telling me they had no idea the evil of Jeffree when I cried to them for a year about it, and then still supporting, working with, and being, quote unquote, best friends with that petty, vile human speaks volumes. They made their deal with the devil, and it still breaks my heart. And a lot of people underneath here had comments, but a lot of people were just telling her to move on as well. Someone said, now we got Shane trying to come back to the internet while the heat is on with David. Someone said, I genuinely want to see him try and come back. The internet would drag him into retirement. Or has he already retired? I don't know. Well, no, because he's editing Ryland's vlogs now. Someone said, move on, girl. You don't want to be friends. They leave you alone. Leave them alone. Find something else to do besides igniting fires. Jean, I'm bored, is what somebody said. So then Trisha goes on to say, I don't condone hate online at all, but I've never been double-crossed with such coldness in my life than Shane and Ryland. It was so sick to hear Ryland straight up lie through his teeth about trauma I shared. They are both manipulative and never to be trusted. And underneath here, it's interesting, the comments. Underneath here, they're kind of back and forth, in all honesty. Someone said, people really love to drag you in your trauma, and it irks me to see it happen. You don't deserve it to happen. I am sorry your former friends had treated you this way. It goes on. Someone said, Trisha ending problematic people left and right. Someone said, you are way better off without those. And they call them much names. Someone said, Ryland made his career judging minor celebrities and gossiping about their problems for years when he was on Clever News. His being complicit in all of this is nothing but expected, and people saying he's actually not bad and just sticking by Shane are, and they go and call them names. Someone said, toxic people, you can just smell through the screen. You too, honey, but yes, Shaney too. Someone said, all you do is hate, talking about Trisha Paytas and saying all she does is hate. Someone said, to be honest, you calling people manipulative is kind of hilarious to me. Someone said, in quotations, I don't condone hate online. Spent the last 3 days hating on people all over Twitter, referring to Trisha Paytas. Someone said, I wonder when people will wake up and realize that Trisha is the problem. And I'm trying to be really fair to this and read both sides. Someone said, where did he say this? Someone said, everyone has always hated Ryland. I don't know that to be true. If you go underneath the videos, he gets a lot of support underneath his videos. So, I mean, I think it just depends. Someone said it seems like Trisha is just now at a place in her life where she can comfortably and safely process these things. If you guys don't agree with it, then don't give it an effing air. She's always lived her life openly online. So why are we all acting brand new? Which basically is saying, like, Trisha's always aired her stuff out online, so why would this be any different? You know, you can't pick and choose. If you hated Trisha for airing stuff out online before, well, she's airing things out now. Just because you don't like what she's airing out doesn't mean that it's not true. I don't know. That's what this person's saying. You let me know what you think about all that. So then Trisha goes on to say at this, and she says, I look at Ryland with such disgust, and I hate that about me. I hate that I have such anger in my heart towards him and Shane. When I see him, it makes me physically sick. Well, you know, a resentment is an unfulfilled expectation. I have learned in my life, right? It's when I expect that someone or something will turn out or will treat me differently than I thought that they would. And then I grow a resentment over that. I become angry about that, and I hold that inside, and that becomes, you know, a grudge over time. One of my favorite quotes of life, and I recently said on here something to the effect of, when you know better, you do better. And I said, I guess I quoted Oprah, and somebody in the comment section was like, that was not Oprah, that was Maya Angelou. Yes, I'm very aware of that. I love Maya Angelou. I'm so sad that she's gone. But there's a great video if you haven't seen it. And it's when Oprah Winfrey actually learned that lesson from Maya Angelou. And if you put into YouTube, if I can find it, I'll link it below. But if you put into the search engine, Maya Angelou, Oprah Winfrey, When You Know Better, You Do Better. It comes up and it's this story that Oprah shares about mistakes that she made in her life, and when she was in her 20s and when she was in her 30s, and then when you know better, you do better kind of thing, right? And I love that, because what that shows is that, as human beings, we err, we make mistakes, and we're going to grow from that, and we're going to learn from that, right? And nobody expects people to be perfect. I don't expect you to be perfect. I'm sure you don't expect me to be perfect. I don't ever proclaim to be a perfect example of anything other than somebody that hopes to continue to grow on a daily basis. But, when I see this from Trisha having these resentments, I think, first of all, you're talking about a long-standing relationship of 12 years. I think there would be some expectations. I have had my best friend, and she's been my best friend for 24 years. I do have some expectations for that friendship, and this is not just a friendship online. This isn't just like they knew each other and did some videos together. Shane has had Trisha's back for a very long time. Trisha's had Shane's back unbelievably for a very long time, I think it's fair to have expectations for people? I think we're going to get hurt if we have expectations for people. Do I think it's fair? Sure. I have expectations for my best friend, and I'm sure she has expectations for me. And I think that that's realistic, don't you? When we have really close relationships with people. So the fact that Trisha is having a hard time moving on and letting this go, I'm somebody that, if you watch my Peterisms channel, I talk about how I don't really care for the words moving on, When my mom passed away and people would say, you need to move on from this. No, I don't believe that. And I had a very close friend of mine who had lost her son, and she said, no, we never move through. We never move on, we move through. And we carry the remnants of those memories and what we've gone through with us for the rest of our lives. The reality is that Trisha might be feeling this 10 years down the road. Shane might be feeling this loss too and just doesn't know how to communicate it or sympathize or empathize with it. Hell, I don't know, because he's not publicly talking about it. But this is how Trisha is grieving the loss of this relationship, okay? She's calling it out. She's sharing her feelings online. My battery died. And my fan's backwards. So there's that. But anyway, let's go back to what I was saying about the Oprah and the Maya Angelou thing and forgiveness. Because I think this is an important piece for me. And it's not a Maya Angelou thing, it's an Oprah thing. And it's one of the greatest aha moments that Oprah ever learned. And she learned about the act of forgiveness. And for her, what she says the act of forgiveness is, well, I have it memorized now. I also have it written down in my notes. But that forgiveness is accepting that what happened in the past happened. Not that it was okay what happened, okay? But that it happened. Now, accepting it and asking yourself, what am I going to do going forward so that I'm not held hostage to this situation that happened to me in the past? And I think it's a really, really good question, I think it's this great question to ask ourselves. Now what do I do with this, right? It's like spilt milk. I can't go back. Yesterday's gone. I can't go back, and I can't change what happened, okay? Trisha can't go and she can't change all of these situations that have happened with her and Shane. Shane has said what he has said. Ryland has said what he has said. Do I think that Trisha is going to continue to come out and call them out when she sees it? Yes, because I think this is how Trisha's working through her pain, right? Do I think that it's the best way? No, I don't. I think she's continuing to stay in the pain in the moment when she does that. But, I think at some point she's going to have to ask herself the question, okay, what do I do with this now? Do I allow myself to move through this? And I think that's what she's doing. I think she's feeling all these feelings. Do I allow myself to move through this and say, hey, you know what? I wish y'all the best life. Obviously, it wasn't meant for us to be friends anymore. And that's hard, that is so hard. Like I said, I've had to do that in my life before, and that's hard, But I think at some point, you just have to move through that. And the reality is, what we're talking a lot about in this is we're talking about grieving. We're talking about the grieving of a loss of a friendship, okay? It's not just like I said, it's not just like her and Shane were kind of friends online and whatever. It's it's grieving the loss of somebody. And I've talked about this a lot on my Peterisms channel. I think it's harder sometimes in life to grieve the loss of a friendship or to grieve the loss of a relationship when you've gone through a breakup, when you can see on their Instagram, okay? Now imagine on the level of Shane Dawson. Trisha can turn on YouTube anytime she wants and sees people talking about him. To know that that person is continuing in their life, to watch a video of Ryland's and see that person going on, to know that Shane's over there, not a care in the world, not thinking about Trisha is how she probably sees it, editing Ryland's videos, moving on with his life, and he's not concerned about Trisha. It's got to be hurtful. It's got to hurt. a lot inside. If you've ever gone through that before, imagine that pain. I've had that before, right? And that's why, like, with girlfriends of mine, when they go through breakups, I'm like, unfriend them on Facebook, if you still have Facebook, block them on Instagram. You don't need to see that stuff. Block their number. You don't need, well, I know, but I need to talk to their families. No, you don't. You're not in their life anymore, And that's the hard truth. But unless you have kids together and whatever, it's the hard truth. But like, it's harder for you to have to sit there and witness all of that and see it, like with a front row seat, to see that that person is moving on and you're not part of that anymore. That is painful. That is painful, 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 painful. So, do I expect any less from Trisha Paytas right now doing that? No, I don't. It hurts. That stuff hurts in life, Do I think that sooner down the road we'll see less and less of this? Yeah, I do. I think that Trisha is coming into her own with, her relationship and settling down to whatever that means to her. I think she's working through this with Shane in a very public way. And I think she's a very public person. They're all very public people, and I'm not making any excuses for it. I think it's easy for us to tell other people, you just need to move on. Like, you need to let it go and move on, I don't know if it's like, if tomorrow, I couldn't sleep if my friend Tanya and I weren't talking anymore. I really, to be honest with you, Trisha's put out TikToks, Trisha's put out YouTube videos, she's done all this kind of stuff. I'm really kind of surprised that we haven't seen this kind of complete, like, meltdown from her. Crying, sobbing, and we've seen a little bit of that, but not a lot. Like, I don't know if maybe it really hasn't hit her yet. I don't know, because, we're talking about a long-term friend, and if I wasn't talking to my friend, I couldn't sleep. Like, I would have to have some kind of resolution or closure to that. I don't know. I can't imagine my life without my best friend in it. I just can't even imagine it, So the whole situation makes me very, very sad. Anyway, let me know what you think about all of that in the comment section below. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.